there, Shalligators! Ah! I'm so happy to be back. You guys, I missed you. I've been gone, what, like 2.5, 3 weeks? Never again. Hopefully again. Hopefully I will be able to take a vacation again because it was so rejuvenating, so amazing. I'm going to do a whole story time on my trip to Europe, and because I want to also talk about someone who was a central figure in my trip to Monaco and Geneva and Paris and Germany. Max Verstappen, the Formula One driver. If you're an F1 fan, you know he's like the best in the world. He's kind of the like Sidney Crosby of Formula One, if you know who that is. I do. So I want to do like a video on him and what we can learn from him. I know it's not in our typical wheelhouse, but he's a little bit of a sociopath, which like I love. Like in a cool way. We can learn a lot. I'll just leave it at that until I get to do the video. But we're back, and I am going to talk today about Taylor Swift. Now, I just want to warn you ahead of time. I'm not feeling good. I've been sick most of this week. My tummy's just upset. I've been super nauseous for like 2 days. I'm not pregnant. It would be like the Christ child. It would be like the Immaculate Conception, please. Please, honey. If you're in the Shallon entourage, you know all about what's going on. But yeah, real quick, let's talk about the Shallon entourage. Join me in the Shallon entourage. You guys, it's our little clubhouse on the internet. You get 5 new videos a week, story times, all the insider dirt of what's going on in my life, plus a whole bunch of bonus advice. And one thing we're going to be doing on the Shallon entourage in the next week is talking about moving and making big changes, because it's now officially my 3rd Montana-versary. It's my 3rd year here in Montana, which is crazy. And if you don't know, if you're a little new here, I lived in New York City my entire adult life. I went straight from college to New York. I never knew any other life. And then in the pandemic, boom, I just picked up and moved to Montana. I didn't know a single person in this entire state. I had no reason to be here. I just felt called to be here. It's a weird feeling. And so on the Shallon entourage, I'm gonna be doing a whole bunch of videos talking about that move, how you can make a huge shift in your life, how you can make friends. There's 2 secrets to making friends, I'll tell you. What dating has been like, the pros and cons of dating big city versus small town. Is it like just like a charming rom-com out here? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And any other questions you guys have about big, major life leaps and moves and shifts. Maybe you're graduating from college. Maybe you're just like, fuck it, I need something different in my life. So we got you over in the Shallon entourage. Plus, there's like, I think 10 group chats, everything from accountability, if you're trying to set some goals, to dating, post reactions, celebs, cuteness, anything that you might need. You got like hundreds of Shalligators there for you. So if you're looking to make friends, it's a great place. Okay, let's talk about Taylor and Matty Healy. You know what? You know, nothing has changed since I left. I will not be referring to him as Matty. I do not appreciate or abide grown men who put a Y at the end of their names. Y names are for girls. Hailey, Cassidy, Melanie, Amy. Girl names. Boy names are different. I don't know what you have to put at the end of a boy name. Motor oil, a tire. I don't know. I don't care. I don't have boys. I am not a boy. But it looks like they're over. Now, our long national nightmare, 1 month of those 2 assholes dating each other. I say that with love because I like Taylor. It's finally over. I wonder what did go wrong. Okay, let's just dive right in. So the New York Post has a source. Listen, I worked in celebrity journalism. You know what I'm gonna say? 9 times out of 10, the sources are the celebrities themselves. It's their PR person, it's their spokesperson putting source quotes out there to spin the narrative in a way that's advantageous to their client or to themselves, right? The other people who are sources, I remember working at Star, it was a lot of step siblings. So it's like they're related to them, not really, where it's like, you're my family, but I also fucking hate you. You know, there is the lacking of that blood bond that keeps someone like honest and loyal. It's not there. Hairdressers never shut up. Stylists, makeup artists close to the celebrity, that's a big thing. But yeah, siblings and step siblings, cousins, they just never stop running their mouths. It's a lot of jealousy motivated stuff. I don't know that that's the case here. We'll see. Tell me who you think these sources are, but they really have a lot to say in a way that I've never heard a source speak, which I think is interesting. Everyone who really knows her, Taylor, has been saying all along that this was a fun, good time that would last as long as it lasted and be no big deal once it was done. It's all stupid. this source said surrounding the media frenzy. She will not be writing albums about this one. It was a summertime thing. Does everyone have amnesia about Tom Hiddleston? Jesus Christ. This is a source quote. Oh my God. They also said, Taylor can't have a good time with anyone without the press trying to marry her off to them. And then when she moves on, they have to basically have her file for divorce. She's allowed to let off some steam and sow her oats afterwards without people claiming that she's head over heels, that she's breaking up with the guy. It's not a breakup. It's the natural evolution of a fun little thing whose moment is over. Okay. Like, yeah, she got out of a 6-year relationship. She wants to like get out there, hoe around, love it, be a slut, do whatever you want, Taylor. We are all here for it. Here's the thing though. You know, I have such a problem when celebrities are like, my privacy. And then they're like, would you like to see the person I'm dating? Would you like me to walk him around? Remember when she did this shit? Remember? She didn't have to do that. She didn't have to have him play in the band that opened for her on tour. She didn't have to bring him to all the shows. We wouldn't know about it if she wasn't holding him up like Simba, having him meet the parents. And then she turns around, the source, so sorry, turns around and is like, how dare you think this was serious? I don't know, bitch. Maybe because you're bringing him out all the time. People are going to draw the natural conclusions. And listen, Taylor, the reason you wanted everyone to see this was to stick it to your ex, Joe Alwyn. Right? No matter how amicable a breakup is, even if it legitimately is, you want him to know you moved on, right? This is human nature. Well, I don't know if it's human nature. It's female nature, you know? This comes with the territory. I don't care how much respect I have for my ex. He's going to see me with someone hot. He's going to see me out and about, revenge body, doing it all. Like, sorry. If for no other reason, let me give this a more altruistic spin, to put the nail in that coffin so he doesn't think we're getting back together. Sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind, right? Sometimes you just got to be cruel. Here's what I think happened, okay? And you know I am almost always right. I think that Taylor, had like a fun little like artsy fartsy fling because this dude is the opposite of Joe Alwyn. Joe Alwyn, one of you guys said it right when I asked you on Instagram, you go from a sweet golden retriever to a rat. And just based on the teeth alone, I think that that's very accurate. Joe Alwyn just seemed, golden retriever-y, nice, sweet, unproblematic, sort of like a bowl of oatmeal. Just, good guy, great. I don't know, is there monsters in his closet? Maybe, whatever. Matt Healy, though. Like the artsy guy, I'm so indie, and he can connect with her about music. Didn't they work on Midnights, her last album together? Oh, I'm sure that's making Joe Alwyn just seethe. Is there anything worse than being suspicious about someone and then it's like, oh, so I was right. Thank you for gaslighting me that whole time. It's great. The deal with Matt Healy, though, and I hate to use this word because it's like one of these wokey words, he was very problematic for somebody like Taylor. Someone who's a little bit more edgy, no. Someone like Billie Eilish, whatever. Taylor, like Miss Americana, who is both 13 years old and 83 at the exact same time. Can I just side note real quick and say I would rather spend a weekend in Rikers Island than go to the Taylor Swift's Eras tour. Based solely on the other people who are going to the tour. It's the who's who of what the fuck are you wearing? Just dorks. These people probably aren't dorks, but man, they're doing a good job of pretending based on the outfits they wear to these shows. It just looks like a goober fest. Just goobers. And now there's this phenomenon. Have you heard of this? Like the amnesia. I actually heard someone talking about this before I read that there's like an article on it, that it's like a thing. This chick was in like the Delta Lounge with me and I was like overhearing her. I was coming back from Europe and she was she was wearing those shoes with Velcro on them. Do you know what I mean? She was not my kind. She was not my people. Oh my God. Velcroed shoes. What are you, 4 years old? They have dinosaurs on them too? she was saying that she like blacked out during Taylor Swift's show. Like she can't remember it because it was like sensory overload and it was like excitement overload. And she's like, it was just, you know how when it's something you've been looking forward to for so long, you can't really remember it? I'm like, no. When it's 4 hours long, like 3 hours long, like, yeah, no, I can remember that. Okay. If you're talking like high school, like there's gaps, of course. But yeah, she's like, she was just like foaming at the mouth. She was so excited and she like, her brain like seized up and refused to import new memories. It was just like a spinning rainbow wheel. And I guess that's a thing. Like people have this like amnesiac phenomenon seeing the Eras show. Take your goddamn rainbow Velcro shit. Get out of here. Oh God. I mean, I'm sure it's a spectacle. Whatever. But that's Taylor. Glitter and sunshine and rainbows and sparkles and dorky pants and dorky audience members and using words like, this is a safe space for you. Shut the okay. And then she dates this dude, MATTY HEALY. And all this stuff starts coming up because that's what Swifties do. They just sit there and they dig shit up on God even knows who. And he's apparently really said some things in the past. Like the big thing is like about Ice Spice. I don't understand her teeth. They're all the same length. They look like they're made of wood or something. They look like they're 3D printed. Does she have dentures? Does she? Like, did something happen to her teeth? I don't know. I'm not being like sarcastic. Does she have dentures? Because it looks like she has dentures. I don't know what's going on there. And everyone says she's an industry plant. I had to kind of look up what that meant because I didn't really understand it. It means like the industry, the music biz, like picks this person kind of arbitrarily and just makes them famous, like greases the wheel so that they're getting played on radio. And like, because why was she picked to make the Barbie song in the Barbie soundtrack before anyone knew who she was? I don't know. What do you think? Are you like a long-term Ice Spice fan? Did she like come up organically and this is just like a rumor? I don't know. But anyway, okay, so MATTY HEALY was on a podcast that was making fun of Ice Spice and they called her one of the Inuit Spice Girls. A chubby Chinese lady and a fucking Eskimo. I shouldn't laugh, but it's just like so, it's like so oddly specific, you know? And insults that are oddly specific, at least you're like putting your back into it, you know? And so he was laughing along to this. And these people also mock Chinese and Hawaiian accents before MATTY encouraged these two podcast hosts to imitate what a Japanese person working in a concentration camp would sound like. That's oddly specific, also not funny though. Yeah, he likes weird porn, like abuse porn and all this just weird shit. But then listen. Oh, and he made fun of Taylor and her mom, apparently. Didn't he call her mom like Miss Piggy in some podcast? That boy is lucky he can still sing. Someone made fun of my mama? Get your fucking jaw broke. And I would do my time in prison with a smile on my face. So I'm sure you guys will tell me in the comments all these other things he said that are stupid. But his comeback, which I thought was true, because you know I hate cancel culture, obviously. I think it's ridiculous. Here's what he had to say. MATTY dismissed the offense that his controversial comments have made, claiming it doesn't actually matter. It doesn't actually matter. Nobody is sitting there at night slumped at their computer and the boyfriend comes over and goes, "What's wrong, darling?" And they go, "It's just this thing with MATTY HEALY." That doesn't happen. If it does, you're either deluded, a liar. You're either lying that you're hurt or you're a bit mental for being hurt. It's just people going, "Oh, there's a bad thing over there. Let me get as close to it as possible so you can see how good I am." And I kind of want them to do that because they're demonstrating something so base level. I can't imagine the absolute lack of empathy. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's not his. Okay, so that's what he said. I agree with that. I mean, if people are like, "Oh, my life is disrupted by something this rock star who I don't know or this YouTuber who I don't interact with said at one point in time," what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? The only thing I disagree with in his comment is that whoever, like this person, has a boyfriend. I don't think so. Maybe their cat came over and was like, meow, and they're like, I know, Noodles. It was something Matty Healy said. Shallon Lester hurt my feelings. Like, don't bring Noodles into this. My point with all of this, he's a bit of a problem. And for someone like Taylor Swift, who wants to dabble, who wants to be like, I'm so edgy, she always likes to dance close to that flame. People like Harry Styles, right? Matty Healy. It's not her. She is much more Connor Kennedy. She's Joe Alwyn. She's Tom Hiddleston. She's a dork. And she needs to date other dorks. That's fine. I love a dork. I'm a bit of a dork myself. I don't know what breed I am specifically, but I do know Taylor's, and that's her wheelhouse. She's not the edgy, artsy chick, because edgy people say edgy things, and they stand up for what they say, exactly like Maddie Smith did. Is like, fucking die mad about it. I don't know. You're a big weirdo if this is disrupting your life. Even if I am ultra problematic, why do you care? Why do you care? He's got a point. He's got a point. I mean, this man isn't a kindergarten teacher. He's a rock star, for Christ's sakes. And I've never understood this new wave of like celebrities have to be like good and pure. When has that ever been that's just so weird to me. Rock stars? They have you do coke off their dicks. Trust me, I know. Like, yeah, they're gonna say weird stuff and watch weird porn and make bad, mean jokes. That's kind of the deal. Does what it says on the tin. And Taylor seems to chronically forget this and dance close to these people, wanting some of that edge. And it's just not her. And it just goes to show, like, we talk a lot about kill the cheerleader, right? When you have a nerd who makes good, the Ed Sheeran type, and they're always trying to get revenge on whatever inflamed their adolescence. The cheerleader. The popular girl who rejected them. And you look at someone like Taylor, I kind of see the same dynamic. She was probably always like sneered at by, I don't know, I would say the artsy kids, because she was like blonde and country and just like that good girl, that wide eye. She was like a little fawn. She's like a little baby bird. And I'm sure that like the goth kids, the emo kids, the scene kids were like, ugh, like cringe fest. And maybe that's always been her sort of inflamed thing and why she's drawn to these edgy guys. But listen, aren't we all? Aren't we all kind of like, the bad boy? Because listen, we don't want the bad boy who's bad to us. That sucks. We want the guy who seems bad, but he's got a heart of gold, right? He's got a heart of gold. Because what we want is not someone who's wildly, radically different. No, they just have a different skin. But underneath it, we're the same. We're the same. So you get that little bit of edginess, of difference. But then it's actually mostly, it's a mirror. No, we're just twins. Yeah, it's the same thing. Right? Guys do this. They want the girly girl, but she loves trucks and hunting and beer and farting. Welcome to Montana. They want someone who maybe presents as a little different so they can cosplay as edgy and they can tell themselves, see, I'm adventurous. Yeah, I'm not just some small town nerd who wants exactly what I am. Copy, repeat, copy, repeat. No, I'm so adventurous. No, the fuck you're not, Jack. Sit down. Shane, shut the fuck up. No, you're not. You want just enough difference to make you feel like, okay, yeah, no, I'm not just some loser dork like everybody else is. No, I'm different. Okay. But then you scratch the surface of that girl and goddamn it, you better find hunting camo. Maybe we're all like this. Maybe this is the lesson. I started doing this video. I was like, I don't know what this lesson's going to be. Maybe the lesson is merely self-awareness here. That when we act like we want to date someone so different than us, do we? When you think of a crush you have on somebody, I have a crush on a guy at my gym. He does not care about me at all. He is, Yeah, different. Like, he's big and he's got tattoos and he's super strong and he's like the gym guy, right? You know, he's the gym guy. And when I picture our lives together, when we get married and I'm Mr. and Mrs. Gym Guy Crush, what do I picture us doing? All the things I like to do. A little bit of newness. Oh, we're gonna drive around his truck. Well, I have a truck, so how different is that? Okay, well, we are going to grill in his yard. That's different from my yard. What else are you picturing, Shallon? Going to my favorite resort in Mexico and watching my favorite shows and country dancing, because I country dance, and taking him around Europe because I like Europe. And we're going to talk politics and current events because I like to do that, and Stoic philosophy. I want a mirror. This is our nature as an egocentric creature, which is what a human is, okay? It's also our nature as a risk-averse creature. When you date someone who's like you know what you're gonna get. There's not a lot of variability, or at least there's less, versus dating the goth guy who's really into Japanimation. What the fuck is he gonna bring up over dinner with your grandparents? I don't know. But you date someone who's like you, oh, they grew up Mormon also, but they're Jack Mormon just like me, whatever. There is less unpredictability. And people say, oh, I want spontaneity. No. Okay. You want spontaneity within a very finite spectrum, okay? When you say spontaneity, you mean we're just gonna get sushi. Like, that's what you mean. Not like we're gonna shave our heads and we're gonna rob a fucking bank and we're gonna drop out of college. And maybe for some people that is their wheelhouse, but everyone has a specific wheelhouse. And listen, I'm not telling you that's bad. That's okay. Why should we sit here and be like, no, I love risk. I love unpredictability. I love how much emotional bandwidth it chews up so that I can't really function on any other level because I'm so busy anticipating what Derek the goth fucking weirdo is going to say to Uncle Marty and Aunt Pat. I love that. No, you don't. Why would you? Why would you? I think a healthy person wants to date someone like themselves. My mom always comes down on me with that. She's like, you always say the same thing about the guys you fall for. We're so alike. We're so alike. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with that? Have you met me? I'm a delight. Why wouldn't I want to date someone like me? I like myself. I'm not looking for someone to rescue me from my own piss poor personality or lack thereof and just pull me into their entire universe and mold me like Pygmalion. I like myself. Is that really such a bad thing? How much difference do I need in order to prove to the world, see, I'm adventurous, look who I'm dating? I'm sorry, I don't know that I feel the need to do that. I feel solid in who I am. I don't need to date somebody who's completely opposite of me. I like myself. I want them to add in, I want them to be like me, but add in more things. I don't know. I just, call me crazy. I don't think that's a bad thing. And I don't think that that's a bad thing for you. So listen, I guess the whole point of this video, just be aware. Be aware of who you are. If you don't know, let's reverse engineer a Kill the Cheerleader on ourselves. Who inflamed your adolescence? Who was it? Who was your big crush 8th grade? What were his hallmarks? Was he like the bad boy? Was he Tanner? Tanner Toby? That's his real name. I'm going to say his real name because he told me I had bug bite breasts. So feel free to find him on the internet if you're bored. Andy Kratz, my other big crush. I asked him to dance and he said, no, I don't dance with dogs. He's out on the internet as well, just in case anybody gets bored tonight. Anyway, who inflamed your adolescence? And why? Was it a crush? Was it hate? Because both of those boys I had such a crush on, and then I hated them with the fire of 1,000 suns and put curses on them, which worked out honestly great. So what is your motivation? What is that adolescent self? And who does that pull you towards now? What flame do you dance near and then pull back from, right? For Taylor, I think it's these, like we said, it's these edgy, artsy guys. I think there's also a huge degree of these guys having the characteristics of a hurt locker, which is she doesn't necessarily want to date them. She kind of wants to be them. Like Taylor Swift would fucking love the street cred of an indie musician. Every acceptance speech she gives, every interview, every documentary, she will not shut up about how great of a musician she is and how hard she works. And listen, she is all of those. She's an incredible writer, incredible musician, amazing businesswoman, but her constant need to say it means she doesn't feel like people see that, right? Like she's forever, she's like, I'm a good musician. It's like, girl, yeah, you're selling out stadiums. People paying 30 grand to see your show. We all got it, you know? But she wants to be taken seriously as this like indie artist, you know? Which I understand. But I think that informs, a bit about who she dates. I wouldn't be surprised. Which again, fine, girl. I don't think that there's anything wrong with dating people who kind of like scratch an itch, like a psychological deep-seated itch, as long as we understand that's what this is. And we're not like, this man is my dream man, because I'm focusing on this weird psychological itch that I have from 8th grade. But no, this is my dream guy. Girl, he isn't. He's unemployed. He vapes all the time. He has a tattoo that says only God can judge. This might not be your perfect partner, okay? But if you're like, this is an itch, I'm in the season where I'm itching. Sorry, Lauren, I know your husband hates that term. That's okay. I think all we can do, and this is the middle path, okay? This is the middle path, is not blindly solipsize into whatever our complexes are and just go like a dog chasing a rabbit. Oh, this is what I want. I love it. Okay. That's bad. That's an extreme. The opposite extreme is to be so hyper vigilant of this. Like, you know how some people are like so afraid of turning into their parents? It's like all they think about, and they turn into something completely different and equally monstrous because they're so focused on not being these things. Do you know what I mean? You know, people like that, or they're just inordinately preoccupied with revenge that they forget to live, they forget to move forward, and they're stuck in the past. You know, you don't want to do that either. You want to walk the middle path. And as usual, this takes the most amount of energy, right? To check in with yourself. It's like, girl, just remember, this is an itch man. This is an itch relationship. This is an itch fling. It's all right. It's okay. He's scratching that adolescent itch. And maybe I just need to go date a dude like this to really get it out of my system and see, oh, artsy usually means poor. It can mean unhygienic. It can mean out of balance, right? Oh, he's a creative and he writes music. He doesn't have a job. He writes music in his dad's basement. Okay. And it can also mean pretentious, that I can't listen to Morgan Wallen's new album or even mention Morgan Wallen's new album because he's going to call me shallow and stupid and CELEB. Okay, yeah. Maybe I'm kind of going back to the golden retriever, guys. Just keep your head on a swivel and keep your eyes wide open. You know, because the worst thing we can do is anything that's to prove someone wrong. Oops. We don't want to do that, okay? We want to, listen, I say that and I've lived my whole life to prove other people wrong. I get it. I think in business, it's fine. But in dating, it's like we all know the friend who you're like, oh my God, Allie, he is not a good guy. And she's like, fuck you. And she just entrenches and she defends him and she just moves closer to him, right? Just because she cannot be wrong and she cannot hear any opposing arguments, whatever, okay? We don't want to be that person. It's annoying and it's self-destructive. We're only really hurting ourselves. And it's ironic because in the moment, we think we're like helping ourselves. I'm making myself happy. This is for me, Okay. Is it for you or is it to prove them wrong? Proving someone wrong doesn't mean something benefits you. Do you see the difference? Like, someone might tell me I bet you can't run a marathon. God, I bet I fucking can. Okay, I run a marathon. I blow out my knee joints. I have a stroke halfway through. As I probably would. I throw up. I'm miserable. I get chafing. You poop your pants sometimes. But you did it. Okay, you proved them wrong. But did you benefit yourself? Outside of, well, I proved them wrong. What is the benefit there? Same with these relationships that we like hold on to and we sink our fucking teeth into. It's like, oh, you're making it work. What's the prize for that? Are you in a happy, healthy, stable, communicative, loving, empathetic relationship? Or are you just sticking it to Uncle Marty? Is that the only outcome? Because, hey, you want to stick it to Uncle Marty, but you also want to have this great relationship. It can't just be the stick in it. That in and of itself is not a win. Sounds cliche, but living well is. Happiness is. Because nothing sticks it to your enemies more than being happy. They cannot stand it. Can't stand it. So go out there, and if you really want to get revenge, be happy. Be self-aware. Walk the middle path. Check in with yourself. Understand your adolescent flames. How are they informing your decisions now? And you might think, I'm like 20, 30 years past that. Are any of us? We go right back to that place real quick. Tell me what you think about Maddie and Taylor. I know I didn't read some of your comments from Instagram. I'm sorry. I've eaten nothing but chicken broth in the last 36 hours. So you're lucky. You're lucky you got this from me. Join the Shallon Entourage. Get some advice on moving if you want to take a big leap. Whether maybe that's moving to a different town, maybe that's moving jobs, maybe that's just switching social circles where you're at. Moving doesn't mean actually getting up and walking out the door. You can move right where you are. Join the Shallon Entourage, and I will tell you how. All right, Shalligators, I'll see you later. Tell me your thoughts in the comments.